Hey guys, I'm just doing a video quality and audio review of the new Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark on 4K. So we're giving this new version a go. So the film starts, as you can see here, with the Paramount Picture beginning, and I thought it looks a bit blurry, and then this shot comes in, it molds into this shape, and this shot, and I'm thinking, it's a lot of noise. I don't mind noise, but it looks a bit too noisy. I'm thinking this film's not going to be so good. And then we get to this classic shot, and this is where you really start to see the picture quality and detail of this 4K image come to its unbelievable, fantastic clarity here of this shot. The film throughout has got some incredible, real detailed shots. HDR here, as you can see again here, with this really bright shaft of sunlight coming through to the tomb, is incredibly bright with the HDR and really adds to that realism of the shot, and also the HDR in the dark scenes. The actual textures, again, you can see here on the actual idol. You can even see scratches and fingerprints and dust marks on this idol, and the eyes, the glass eyes, and it really adds depth to the whole entire film. These few simple but small shots. This one in particular, of the plane, that the amount of detail you can see actually in the engine at the front is actually quite mind-blowing. It gives it a real 3D look that I've never seen on the plane before, having seen this film countless times before. And you can see here, this shot just shows you the colours, how vivid they are. They're very lifelike, very grounded, and don't feel unnatural or oversaturated. They're just very, very vivid in a nice way, but not looking unnatural. Here's another shot again. This is sort of just showing how bright it can get, how clear it is. I mean, I know that the shots aren't to go by how 4K quality. They're only photos taken on my iPhone and then cropped. But this shot gives you an idea of the brightness of the scene, the textures you can see on the plane cockpit and everything as well. Now, the fire in this film is pretty outstanding. Normally in the normal Blu-ray version, it just looks very bright. In this, the flames really have form. They really have like a shape, and you can see each flicker of flame there, and you can see how intense the heat is. And it's just, when you watch it, and this bar fight in particular with the fire, it's incredible. I mean, another shot here again just shows the contrast between the brightness of the flame and the darkness and blackness of the bad guy's leather jacket there. And just the amount of detail in this shot with all the smashed glass and the brightness of the vividness of the colours, and it's a really incredible transfer, this film. This shot here just shows you just the brightness levels, the clarity, the shot. There is noise in this film. There is noise in this 4K image, but doesn't subtract the film. It just adds a real filmic, theatrical feel to it. I mean, obviously, if you put too much digital noise reduction to these films, you lose a lot of texture and clarity. This shot here again just shows the small details you can see on the flaking paint on the telescope there, and you can see like even the material of the pages, and it just really brings out the picture and the whole scene so much more, this collection. And here, a fantastic shot. This just really shows you how good the skin tones are. Very, very natural. Again, they may not pick up on the camera with my screenshot, my photos, but the actual the skin tones are so realistic and so natural, and they don't feel reddish like they did on the Blu-ray. They feel very much more toned down and more normal. This shot here just shows you a dimly lit scene, but it just shows you how detailed it still is in the dark areas and the crevices, and even like the contrast between the bright and dark areas is pretty incredible, really. And just shows you the wide colour gamut here coming to use with the reds there and the whites and the blacks and everything. So yeah, for a dark scene, it's pretty impressive. And then we go to a bright scene. We're outside before we're on the boat. Really bright, the sun's bright from the sky and everything there. All the detail on the crew's uniforms and caps and hats, absolutely fantastic. The clarity there. And then finally, we just got the shot here. I think a brilliant shot of the actual submarine or U-boat. So much detail, so much texture in the shot. All in all, this 4K transfer is pretty mind-blowing, and I highly recommend buying the box set. Now, the sound quality of this is fantastic. It's Dolby Atmos. Watch it with a Dolby Atmos speaker, with amplified speakers and sideways firing speakers and so on. The sound is really, really good at making you feel immersed and surrounded in the film. You can hear things coming from above the TV, whether it be rubble, whether it be rain, that sort of thing. You can really hear it coming from above in a lot of scenes. The use of the HDR is outstanding. Super bright colours or bright vivid scenes such as skies, explosions, things like that, flames. Or when it comes to really dark scenes, you can really make out a lot of detail in those shots. You can also the actual picture clarity is very good. It's a very sharp image. It's a 4K digital intermediate, I believe, so from a 4K source. And the actual picture does have a lot of noise, or when I mean noise, I mean film grain. However, I think if it didn't have film grain, it wouldn't feel like a classic film. It wouldn't feel that kind of filmic, theatrical film. It would feel very modern. If it had too much digital noise reduction, or get rid of the film grain using digital intervention, I think it would look very smooth and very digital and very modern and slick, and it wouldn't make Indiana Jones feel Indiana Jones, if that makes sense. But yeah, the actual clarity is super sharp. The noise adds to the feel of the film, I think, adds that theatrical feel. And the colours are outstanding. The colours of the flash tones are realistic and natural without being too red or too oversaturated and just not looking natural. The actual colours are vivid and bright and saturated, but without being too saturated. The colours are just right and they feel right for what they should be. So greens on leaves in jungle look right. They don't look too over green, if that makes sense. And reds look right, and the market scene and things like that. Everything just looks natural, just looks as it should do, and it makes a huge difference. It really does. Having that wider colour gamut makes a massive difference to this compared to the Blu-ray. I'd say if you're an Indiana Jones fan, this is a no-brainer. Buy this 4K box set. If you're someone who has the Blu-rays but not too fussed, maybe wait till it comes down in price, or if not, stick to your Blu-rays for now. I mean, the Blu-rays are still fantastic, but for me, this film has absolutely blown me away a little bit, really, with how good it does look and how much it's retained the old classic feel still, while being modernised with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, HDR, 4K image, and so on. So, all in all, fantastic film, incredible remastering or conditioning of this film, and I highly recommend this one as a pickup.